You guys, you might know him as Super 70's Sports, a.k.a. what New York Post called the greatest thing on Twitter. Many days, it's the best thing on the internet. Go to get his amazing array of all things. Oh, my God, that hat. Retro T-shirts at super70sportsstore.com. And if you have not checked out his podcast, the Super 70 Sports Show, you're a fucking asshole. How about that? Sweetheart, you've seen me wear the hat that Ricky Cobb is wearing right now, and you thought it was an E.
I know. I'm bad at cursive.
You now know what it is.
I think it's a C.
There we go. Ricky is wearing the 87-89 White Sox hat, and I love it so much. How are you, buddy?
I am as great as Bobby Thigpen.
Why is he not in the Hall? Well, how many saves did he have? He had the record for a while, I think. He was our Mariano Rivera.
57 goddamn saves.
Thank you. No one talks about him. And by the way, as you can tell by her expression, we're already losing Joe. But
I'm always so surprised how everyone can remember so many names and statistics.
I can only do it if I was a kid. I don't remember anything now. It's just the stuff that's...
I couldn't even remember Parker Posey, so Lord help me.
There is that. Well, how are you, brother? I love the podcast, sort of the revamped version. I love it. And I have to ask you, we actually have got you on the perfect show because we have some breaking news, I guess.
Oh.
Your own Aaron Judge.
What about him?
6-2.
Well, yeah, I heard he did 6-1.
Well, he's now, as we called it, 6-fun. It's 62 home runs.
Wow.
And I know, Ricky, you had the best line ever on your podcast because you were debating on MVPs. We got Ohtani, a guy we've never seen. Even Babe Ruth didn't do what he did. Great, one of the better hitters in the American League, and also he's got one of the lowest ERAs and is in line for possibly the Cy Young. He won't get it. But you said something along the lines, and I'm going to butcher it, in comparing him with Aaron Judge. Yeah, sure, Aaron Judge might get the Triple Crown, but how's his ERA? And I'm not even doing it justice. You remember the line probably better than I do, but it made me rethink MVPs.
It's a passionate subject for me. And Aaron Judge, you can't deny the season that he's had, as you said, the big 6-2, and that is 60-plus years in the making for a new American League home run champion. And obviously, the Bonds, McGuire, Sosa era was a hell of a lot of fun at the time, but I think it's left a bad taste in some of our mouths. Seeing this is definitely a little bit of a throwback to, I think, some of the joy that was unfortunately synthetic. We didn't know it at the time in '98 and when Bonds was doing his thing. But yeah, Shohei Ohtani, and thank you for the kind words about the podcast, Bobby.
It's great. I love it. It's like I'm having a conversation with you. Like one of your buddies that helms the T-shirt store. Actually, I should have gotten some images of the newer ones. Was on it when you were talking about that, and no, it's fun. It's just such a funny conversation, and it was interspersed with stuff you like there was the Brazilian guy that masturbated himself to death.
Oh,
I believe,
yeah.
Which I didn't believe a word of that.
Yeah, Joanne should know about this. 42 consecutive times.
Not a thing. No.
On the 42nd, he just went up and smoked like Spinal Tap's drummer.
Well,
I think
he was trying to beat Aaron Judge.
That's right. That's right. He knew he was going to have to post the number.
Yeah.
If it was going to stand the test of time, and unfortunately, he should have stuck with 41. He might be here with us.
Do you know how long that took?
A day, right?
I mean, for a lot of us, that's a month.
It's a year.
Right. Yeah, but not this kid. I mean, and that's the thing that's so sad about it is, just the potential. Bill, he could have been one of the greats of masturbation, but
gone
again,
too soon.
Well, isn't he though? He's sort of the James Dean of masturbation. We lost him too soon, but he left us a wonderful record.
He was reckless. He was reckless with his life.
He lived his life like a candle in the wind.
Boy, he ruined that candle. Here's the thing. I got a lot of questions about this story, none of which I'm sure we'll be able to answer. Who's counting? I mean, the kid died, so we don't have him on record. Who knew? Like, was his mom in the background being like, "Stop, stop," but still being like, "All right, that's 40, and we're at 41 now."
I feel like it was crudely scrawled on the wall as though it was the fuselage of a plane.
Yeah.
Where someone was just trying to survive. I think that's all that it was. They pieced it together, upon the evidence in the room.
So this is what you get. And I was actually jealous of you because this is kind of the fucking stories that Joanne and I should be better at finding.
Yeah, I didn't see
and
that
you got
anywhere.
us. So that it's the equal parts, actually really thoughtful takes on the current MVP race and a kid masturbating himself to death. So if you don't like that, then fucking log off right now because you don't like our show either. But that's what Ricky's got for us. Well, how are you, my man? What's new?
I'm good, my brother. Just working hard every day, trying to populate Twitter with content, and just trying to stay out of trouble.
I had to explain because I've said it to you many times. I tweeted it last night. I had to explain to Joanne, who I thought was a sophisticated, artsy little girl, but she just looks like Parker Posey, but has none of the cultural cachet.
Yeah.
What the blue period is, but I don't need to promote Super 70 Sports because everybody knows what it is. It is a beacon of light in the otherwise big bag of diarrhea that is Twitter. But you really are. You're hitting your blue period. She thought I was talking about Van Gogh.
I was like, is he crazy?
Yeah. But you're hitting your zenith. It's just, I'll tell you what, and I've got a couple examples. Maybe we'll get to them, maybe we won't. But my brothers, all people that have been on the show, like Jonathan and Alfred, and then Chris Wober's Mustard, and Drew Lerner, we trade your tweets like baseball cards on like a little texting thing. Where, like, if we see a good one before the others do, we'll just forward it. Like, you have become the new baseball card.
Wow.
Wow. Well, I mean, that might be the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me.
Well, the sad part is I believe your tweets are worth more than most of my baseball cards right now. It is not a good market. But okay, so one thing that because I worry that if we get too into the weeds, we're going to lose Joe. But I got one for both of you that I think works. So we started off the show with an old one you did, coupled with the old famous Mean Joe Green Coca-Cola commercial. And then you did a great one where Mean Joe Green, we see the real Mean Joe Green, where you show the video of him kicking a guy in the nuts on the Browns like 20 times. And you said something along the lines of none of them like none of them probably even got a flag. Something like again, another thing I'm butchering, but it was great. And I was thinking, I believe that Mean Joe Green commercial was one of my first memories. And I'm wondering, for both of you, it doesn't have to be sports related if you have something like that, because that's like one of my first. I remember watching football and I didn't understand, I didn't like it. And then being annoyed because then my dad wanted to watch 60 Minutes, and that was even worse.
Yeah.
But I liked Mean Joe Green for that commercial, and that might be my first memory. What do you got? Is it pop culture related?
Yeah, I mean, Jesus. I think that our memories are so connected to what we were watching on television, especially in those days. And
absolutely.
And one of the best parts about Super 70s is for people of a certain age, our memories aren't like so splintered, right? There's more entertainment options today than ever before, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, I don't know how many times you have somebody come up to you, one of your friends, and they passionately tell you how you got to be watching this show. It's the best thing ever. And you don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Yep, never heard of it.
Never heard of it. You don't know what platform it's on. And it may be the greatest thing ever, but there was something beautiful about being able to go to school and talk about Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, oh yes.
Everybody knew what you were talking about. So I think my memories were of like the things that were major events. It's probably either a Super Bowl or Battle of the Network Stars Bowl.
Oh, well, and I've heard you mention Linda Carter several times, and there are great scenes in Battle of the Network Stars where Linda Carter, looking fucking awesome, decided, hey, you know what? Bras aren't for me. And she would do track whatever she was doing, and you're watching, but not for the athletic Wonder Woman aspects. It was honestly, it would not be on TV right now because you can see a lot more than you thought you were going to see in, say, 1978. It was tremendous.
She was at her most wondrous.
Yes.
Actually, in that arena, and then I remember when Catherine Bach, Daisy Duke, when she got sank in the dunk tank, and again, it was something that would not be considered appropriate today, but somehow back in the 70s when we were still kind of innocent and we were just babes in the woods, it was okay to see some areola. So
it's so true. Here's how fucked up the 70s was. So on one end, you got Catherine Bach essentially doing a shirt,
wet t-shirt
contest. But on the other hand, the network brass made her wear pantyhose with her Daisy Duke jean shorts because they thought it was just a little too much with just the legs.
Yeah.
And so somehow the pantyhose made it okay. But
it's like Japanese porn, Bill. You know, you see a bukkake, there's cum flying everywhere, and then they're pixelating
vagina
things out as to not offend your delicate sensibilities. I've never understood.
I really just think it was big pantyhose, just trying to.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Capitalize on the market.
I always loved the little Easter egg things that the pantyhose came in. Reminded me of Easter.
No surprise, I didn't really watch sports growing up. It wasn't a big thing in my house. But the things that I do remember the most from when I was younger were these kids performing shows. Now, I'm a little younger than the two of you.
We admit it.
But the shows like Kids Incorporated
and
Barney even had these like singing, dancing kids. So it was me, even little like 5-year-old Joanne, being so egotistical and narcissistic, like, I should be doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Why are these kids on TV and I'm not on TV? I can do that. So those are mainly my memories. But I think a lot of it, too, is just tied to the music. Like if you think of even old commercials or things, it's these jingles that they used to make back in the day.
Earworms all.
Even as an adult, you're surprised. You're like, I know all the words to this still. How is that possible? And it's because they knew, these marketing execs knew that, or advertising, this was the way to just like get under people's skin and get them to buy your product.
I can't say enough how much I admire Joanne for saying that her first memory really is of other people's ineptitude.
Yeah.
It's so on brand. It is so on brand.
I'm disappointed now. I now know that whatever my first memory is, she's got me beat because she was playing chess. I was playing checkers.
Yep.
Now you're giving her too much look, believe me, it's like a dinosaur brain. It's the size of a ping pong ball. She does. There's no chess with her.
But if I may segue,
please.
So again, right before you came on, I said, when I know you're coming, I'd like to just Google search 70s and sports and see what comes up.
It's so much more than that, honey.
But I don't know why this came up or why we're talking about it again, but I did not know about this. Remember when a 70s Denver Broncos player had a fun hit on the radio? So basically, the 1977 Broncos, it was a great time to be a fan of the Broncos that season. They went to the Super Bowl X11. What is that, 12?
Super Bowl X11, that would be Super Bowl... That's Super Bowl 12. You're right. Yeah.
In New Orleans. They lost to the Cowboys that year, but apparently it was a great season.
It was the Cowboys-Steelers, all 70s.
Oh, Broncos running back number 32, John Keyworth, apparently was in a band that played around Denver and the region. He put out a song called Make Those Miracles Happen. One of the lyrics, when you're down at the bottom and up is hard to see, you got to make those miracles happen on your own. His album Keys sold over 10,000 copies within 2 months of its release, most likely because of the single, but also because of this album cover.
That's the fucking cover?
That is the cover. The sleeve of the album even had 8 more Broncos butts showing, stirring up a bit of controversy.
I never knew anything about this.
So Now,
This is probably
5 years prior, in 1972, Cosmopolitan magazine caused a stir with their nude photo shoot of Burt Reynolds,
Oh, that I know.
that famous one we know. So I guess it was sort of on trend. But I am shocked, Ricky, that there were 8 Broncos players that agreed to do that. Like,
Hey,
shocking.
the Super Bowl shuffle, so it becomes very different. Don't you
No
think it is?
kidding. Well, but by
Yeah.
the way, it looks so PG, even though there was a referee that blew a whistle when they were about to say ass. I remember that was very controversial. But what the fuck, man? I got to give you
Yeah.
credit, kiddo. Like, I never knew anything about this.
I
is
am gonna
shocking.
I'm gonna admit here, as the 70s sports guy, I was not aware of that as well. So some pretty serious investigative journalism.
I would have assumed that there was a tweet that I had missed where you did something on the album cover. This blows my mind. You've got a scoop
But
here.
also, if you're able to get the rights to do it, like to take that album cover and put that on a T-shirt, I think would be incredible.
No shit. Well, also, the kind of weird ass, now illegal painkillers every football player was on in the 70s, they probably didn't even know what they were posing for. You know, I think that's how you get a bunch of naked linemen on a album cover.
But I think we also have a little video or a clip of this song if we're
I see
interested.
it.
I know we're all
Oh,
just
yeah.
looking at the gorgeous body, but it's decent. This guy wasn't bad, and
I don't know the song.
I don't know. Have we since had another
You found this.
pro athlete to release a record?
Well,
Is this gonna be like Yacht Rock? I feel like it's Yacht Rock.
it's got to be. I mean, you saw the beard, and it's the right year. Oh, this is Yacht Rock.
I've been a winner a long, long time.
Is it Yacht Rock? It's almost country western.
It's a little more like Brady Bunch.
Up was hard to see.
How was this? Well, I guess it was the 70s. A lot of things were hits.
It's just such it's a dichotomy of mood. Slightly
Is that him as well?
depleted.
Is he the naked guy as well?
I don't think so.
It looks like he just finished fucking someone in prison and then got released and put his suit on that he went to prison for. And that guy that was still raped is like hating himself. That's what the album cover says to me.
Was he doing a magic show in prison?
That's what it looks like.
That was it.
I want to see like a dove fly out of his sleeve. Pigeon. So there you have it. There's something, wow, that I got to teach you. That's exciting.
I'm impressed. I never heard of
Wow.
any of this.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well, all right.
I gotta tell you, yeah, the that was bad. Jesus Christ, that was really, really fucking bad.
I
I
mean,
was on his side too. I wanted to like it after
It's
after
horrible.
seeing that album cover. Jesus Christ.
you know, 10,000 copies within 2 months. I don't know if back in the day that was good. That does not sound good right now. So it was probably, I guess, just fans who bought it.
Oh, yeah.
Or like all of
absolutely.
his family.
Who was buying? Who's the middle-aged 50-year-old Denver Broncos dude fan who's picking up that 45 with guys dangling all over the dust jacket?
Especially homophobia was running rampant in that decade. I don't care how
No,
free and sexual.
homophobia was stifled curiosity. So, yeah, I see how maybe
Okay,
he
well,
sold
maybe.
10,000 copies.
Well, I have a treat. So again, when we have you on, I want to find stuff that Joe will be intrigued with as well. And she certainly loves to hate people. And I think you're on record as just loving extramarital affairs or whatever is wrong with a marriage.
Best.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys, it does seem
Oh, yeah.
that it's gone from bad to worse as far as the former perfection that was Giselle and Tom Brady and their marriage and their kids that he kisses on the lips is concerned. I should have gotten that video. The Page Six is reporting that they have now filed for divorce and have been living separate lives.
Wait, have they filed for divorce or they each got divorce attorneys?
That might be it.
That's different.
Yeah, well,
Because if you hear that one spouse is getting a divorce lawyer, you need to as well. Otherwise,
a lawyer up.
they will secure the best one and then you'll have nobody. So like
Yeah.
they both have to get their own, even if they're not going to file, like they're ready. The artillery is there.
Well, okay, so now I'll ask you both. So Barstool Sports is immediately now thinking that now that Brady has lost the Super Bowl that is his marriage, all bets are off. The theory was that Giselle did not want him to return. He did anyway. They're saying that other things are going on, and that's why they split up. It wasn't just that. But that now he could just keep playing until he's 50. He doesn't have to answer anyone anymore. Where is your head on all this? Do you feel horrible for Tom and Giselle? They're genetically perfect kids.
I think that Tom Brady is slowly becoming perhaps our greatest American. This motherfucker is going to walk away from his supermodel wife who has devoted God knows how much of her time to picking up the slack and putting her own career ambitions on the back burner so that Tom Brady can throw crossing routes to wide receivers that weren't even born when he entered the NFL.
He could be their dad. Yes.
Yeah. And this motherfucker is so committed to trying to win an 8th Super Bowl that he's just going to walk away and just say, hey, fuck it. I'd rather keep playing in the NFL until I'm 50 than have a marriage. In a strange sort of fucking way, my admiration for this man just continues to multiply.
You're not wrong. And considering you and I are pretty much the same age, I stopped hating Tom Brady when he kept playing. And he's younger than me, but the dude is no spring chicken, and we've never seen anything like this as far as performance versus age is concerned. So all of a sudden, older he got, I started becoming a big Tom Brady fan. And I don't care who knows it.
Well, we often see from celebrities at some point, it's usually when they're experiencing burnout, they'll say something to the effects of, family is everything.
Yes.
And I have to keep my priorities straight, and I need to focus on family and not my career. But maybe that just isn't the case for every human being. Maybe for those who do have superhuman talent, family should not be everything.
I totally agree.
Your career should be everything because that's just your lot in life. Like, let the average ugly people have family. And I do think Tom Brady should just get as many rings as physically possible. And also, I think he will be completely satisfied with that. Right?
Well, he'll never be satisfied.
Well
He's
said.
that type. Yeah.
I just want one guy to be so goddamn selfish that he just keeps playing until we can just see how far can it go. I feel like, there's been some good players who have extended their careers into their 40s, and then they always kind of walk away leaving you to wonder, like, how long could this motherfucker have played? And I think Tom Brady is our first, certainly NFL player that may answer that question for us. He's not going to step aside because he looks at the calendar and says, oh, geez, the number is high. I'd better quit now. This guy might be able to play until he's 50, and I'm here for it. I think Joanne's
I'm absolutely here for it.
He has a responsibility. He has a calling that is bigger than his family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's being the prick that we want him to be. And to that end, as far as late career success is concerned, or is still performing at a high level, I heard you mention that you had just seen the Nolan Ryan documentary that I've been trying to get Joanne to watch. It's on Netflix. So here's the thing about Jo. She's not a huge sports fan, but she appreciates excellence, particularly if you're kind of a dick about it, which is why I got her to become a Bulls fan, because she loved The Last Dance.
Jordan.
Yes. And I think that you would love the Nolan Ryan
Such an
thing.
asshole, but I love it.
Oh, I knew she'd be all in. Like, as much of a sociopath as Jordan can sometimes be, I knew she was going to eat it up with a fork and spoon.
Yeah.
And Nolan Ryan is a little bit like that, and you're going to love him. Not only was he just a dick on the mound, I think to this date, it's got the most no-hitters. Was it 7? And up until his 40s and everything like that. But he's just like a like everything about him you would love.
What team did he play for?
Well, he played for the Astros, he played for the Angels, he played for the Mets, he ended with the Rangers, right? But what I heard you mention, I loved it. You and I are kind of the same person, but you're successful. What did you like about it? Convince Joe.
Yeah, I'm going to have to second Bill here. My girlfriend watched it with me, and she is not a sports fan, really by any measure. She enjoyed it, so she's kind of my litmus test.
Good barometer.
For the sports obsessed, if it translates to her, then it's pretty good. So she gave it a thumbs up. But yeah, Nolan Ryan, 27-year career. that this guy had. And, Bill, the tweet I did a while back is I posted, he had a low ERA, under 3, I think, the year that the White Album came out. And he actually had a lower ERA the year that Nirvana released Nevermind. So
that's
for
insane.
Me,
that is,
it's pretty crazy.
I missed that one, and that's those kind of amazing, mind-blowing comparisons are why people keep coming back to the shop that is your brain. That's fucking mind-blowing. Wow. Well, and I got one. I have a whole list of tweets that you've done. Some recently, some not so much. But I have. Well, we could go to the first one because it applies to Aaron Judge. Okay, so like as you've probably heard everyone talk about, like in the national, Aaron Judge has got the record for most of the season in the American League, and it's still with the Yankees, and all that's great. So you got Barry Bonds, right? He got 73 in one season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what do we know about Barry Bonds? Beep, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
And then Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, and Sammy Sosa got over 60 twice. So here's a tweet. This should be the first one, guys, if you scroll all the way down, that Ricky did. And this is who Sammy Sosa is now, ladies and gentlemen. And sometimes we forget what the fuck is going on with him. Okay. And the what are your better ones? Can I get a ruling on the exact moment Sammy Sosa became a fat Scottish guy?
That's Sammy Sosa?
That is Sammy Sosa, my lady. And he did not used to look like that. He has straightened his hair. There was one ESPN interview where he admitted to some sort of facial cream that he is using, but he is a fat Michael Jackson. What do you know that we don't about what the fuck is going on with Sammy Sosa, Ricky?
I don't understand it at all, Bill. I like the rest of us.
I want to see what he looked
trying
like
to
before.
comprehend. Some people speculate that, what is it, vitiligo or the condition.
Oh my
I don't think that's actually it. I think Sammy had some serious self-esteem issues and did not like his complexion and decided in his midlife with more money than God that he was going to make some changes to his physical appearance, and they are rather dramatic.
It really is jaw dropping.
He was so cute before.
And so Joe has the worst poker face on planet Earth. And I don't know if you noticed, but she was looking up at a before picture of Sammy.
Yeah,
now she's seeing the difference. There you are.
Look how cute he was.
Well, that was steroid era, right? I remember when he was actually a really good outfielder for the White Sox, Jerry curl and a $140. He was a different person.
It's bad. He goes from being one of the greatest sluggers of all time. The other photo looks like Desi Arnaz's autopsy.
It's fucking alarming.
It's not good. It's just, it does not pass the test. It's hard to believe that he looks in the mirror and he's apparently more satisfied with this than the home run guy.
Yeah.
And the one Scottish thing he hasn't indulged in is heroin, clearly, because that makes you skinny. But it is so fucking alarming. And again, it is a body dysmorphia, self-hatred thing, too, because the hair straightening thing, too. I mean, again, yeah, Desi Arnaz is a good comparison. I don't know what's going on there, but it's a mental thing, and I think could the fact that he knows he's not going to the Hall of Fame. The Cubs haven't even retired his number. Did that? I don't know. I honestly,
it seems like he wants to separate himself from his past self.
That's good.
Like, I mean, because clearly you're not recognizable anymore.
That's
so you
actually
must
really good.
not want to be known, which is kind of sad.
It's very sad, and he was Bill, he was an icon in Chicago.
Oh, God, yeah.
So popular. So popular. Probably, I've been here since 2003, and off the top of my head, he was the most popular athlete that I've seen in Chicago during my years here.
Bar none.
And now he's a pariah. People barely even talk about it. It's almost like it's been expunged from Chicago sports history in a weird way.
And you know what? It's so funny, too, because, Chicago is actually oddly can be very forgiving. It was no fault of Derrick Rose's. It was a fault of his knees and Achilles that he got traded initially. But he is born and raised South Side. for a few brief shining moments, much like Camelot, he was a point guard unlike anything we have ever seen. And now, even as a Knick, Chicagoans still love Derrick Rose. But what Sammy Sosa did, Chicago won't forgive that. And it's a very weird thing that it's hard to quantify. But Derrick Rose will always be beloved. Sammy Sosa is a now fat white man pariah.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have had a couple of bucks down on Sammy Sosa as a sad, fat white man in 2003 because, I wouldn't need to tweet anymore.
Oh, man.